Hi, it's Hallie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing some birth topics, and one of them is, I'm peeking at my notes here, so free birth must-haves for on at-home water birth. And this is my personal experience, so this is what we did, what worked for us, what didn't work for us, and my advice from that experience or these experiences now that I've had several. I'm just gonna go down the list, and I wrote down 10 things that I wanted to speak about or that I found really necessary for that experience. So the first one is to have a plan for the placenta. This is always somebody's main question, and that goes for one and two of these, the first two of these lists. So you need a bowl or some sort of something to catch the placenta in. I know people that have used pots or pans or glass bowls. We always just use like a mixing bowl, but I would advise it. I don't really think the material, what it's made of matters. We've used like stainless steel or glass, but glass can be kind of heavy. I always try to do one that I can put a lid on, so that way when we're leaving the cord attached for a little while so it can dry out, we can put the lid on and there's not animals trying to eat it or kids trying to touch it or blood going everywhere. So that's just our personal preference, is just kind of a mixing bowl with a lid that fits. And the second thing on that list is some sort of situation with the placenta and the cord as far as what you want to do with it. Some people do the lotus birth, but you will need to get something to, they call it like a diaper situation for the placenta, or herbs are needed for the placental situation. Otherwise, if you're going to burn the cord, you need to have some sort of beeswax candles, and one of the little boxes are sometimes useful to put the cord on and burn it. And you're going to need to have a lot of patience because that does take longer than other methods, and you will need some sort of guard with that. So some people put tin foil on a piece of cardboard so that it won't burn too close to your baby's stomach. I have never personally done this because it kind of makes me nervous, but I tend to opt for just the clamps, the plastic clamps, which are equally annoying as other things, and it's probably my least favorite part of having a newborn is the belly button situation. But we use plastic clamps. You can get them on Amazon. Normally they're sold by the 50 or 100 pack, but you'll just need some, and you'll need two, one to clamp down near the placenta so the blood flow stops, and one to clamp near the baby's belly button, and then you'll cut below that one. So will need to have some sort of sterilized scissors for that. I use hair cutting scissors, and then we always sterilize it by burning the scissors beforehand. You can also use a piece of string with the same method, but you will still need scissors for that. And then the third thing on this list is towels, both big and small. I like to have some washcloths that I can put in some ice water and put on my forehead or on the back of my neck to keep me cool during the birth. And then big towels as far as during the birth and right after, and a little bit in the postpartum. I tend to leave these around the room. We've had carpeted rooms the last few births, so we haven't wanted to get anything on them, blood or anything else. So we just put them around the room, and then that's really easy. You can toss in the washer right afterwards, and it's a pretty sustainable option as well. You can use Chucks pads for this, and I will use Chucks pads sometimes after the birth when I'm just sitting on them in the bed. That way healing actually is much more quick, but I know some people use towels for that as well. Both work just fine. And then snacks and hydration is another one that you're gonna need, probably the fifth one on this list. And that's things ahead of time that you kind of have thought through, maybe some fruit. I think last time I did apples and cheese was what I wanted at the time, and that worked out really well. And I never want water when I'm in labor, so I always have coconut waters on hand or some sort of like sparkling water, like a LaCroix situation. I know some people make labor aids or chicken broth, and these are some other options you can use as well. And then as far as when the baby's being born right after and they're covered in the vernix, the cheesy kind of white lotion type stuff, and maybe blood, maybe their poop, maybe your poop, whatever it is. I don't like to use my cute baby blankets for that. I like to use I have like some designated birth baby blankets that can get the meconium on it, the baby's first poop, and can get gross, and I don't care, and we wash them and then we use them for the next birth. But these ones aren't my cute little flowery ones that I want to use in the daily life, so I would recommend some baby blankets that you don't care what happens to them. Next thing I say is support is really necessary, whether that's you have other kids that you need help with during the birth, or a support partner, whether that's a doula, or some people find midwives really supportive in this role, or your partner or a friend, whoever it is, whatever you need. That is something that you should go into planning ahead of time as a way to support you in the birth and what is truly an essential in the birth experience to let you let go and have all of that go as best as planned. And I would say the next one I have written down is mental plan, which I think goes into the support plan, but just kind of have an idea of what you are going to do, how you're going to cope with pain, what you're going to walk through each contraction with, like your plan of attack. Like I spoke about in my recent Freebirth video, what I did, which was to achieve a pain-free birth, and that was approaching each contraction head on, confronting the pain or intensity, and thinking really positively about connecting with my baby each time that happened. It was a time to truly focus on the baby being with me and us working through that birth together, and that whole process really worked out well for me. And I think having any mental plan of how you want to deal with it is necessary ahead of time before you're in that. And that kind of goes with the next one, which I have headphones and meditations. This isn't for everyone. This was not my experience prior to this third birth I've had, but it really helped in having something to focus on and having kind of a mental walkthrough with each contraction or with just the birth experience in general when it started to get intense. I wouldn't say it was used as an escape, but more so just as a focus point. So I would offer the idea of having headphones nearby is really helpful. And then lastly, a water setup. What are you going to do if you want a water birth? Are you going to do a birth pool because you need to have a pool set up, or are you going to have a bathtub available? Just having this be your birth space and having this be kind of set up for that. Some people like candles there. I wouldn't put that on this essentials list, but creating the right environment, that might be essential for someone. So I think I did have candles, but it was definitely an afterthought. But overall, I would have all of these things that are physical items in some sort of container that you can move from room to room if you need to or want to change your birth space. You're not feeling it when it's happening, but that way you or your support person can easily be moving the things you need for the entire birth in just one container. You don't need a lot. If anything, you don't need any of this, just maybe some towels if that was like bare minimum. But most of these things can be obtained for a low cost, if not for free. This is completely my list of what I think is important, but it is some suggestions. Maybe you haven't thought of them, or maybe you didn't think of them in this way. And so I hope that I can be of help with these items. But best of luck on your birth, and I hope it goes exactly how you'd like it. Have a great day. Bye.